Charlie called.
You gotta do that again.
Granddad! Grandma! Granddad! Grandma!
Okay, you're good.
Charlie called. Come out! We have a new raven! Blue Sky just registered it for the day care center. He gave it a pine needle. Granddad shuffled out, leaning on Grandma Sally's arm. He looked up at the birds on the roof and grinned. Those two ravens that were circling the house yesterday must have been checking out the center to see if it was good enough for their youngster. You mean checking the menu? You mean checking the menu? Joking, singing bird joked. I can't read anymore, I'm losing my mind. You mean checking the menu? Joked, singing bird. Charlie didn't laugh, he kept watching. The birds lifted their feathers slightly and walked side by side. Grandma, Granddad noted this too. They're acting like siblings, Granddad mused. Let's find out if they are. Let's find out if they are. How? Charlie asked. Catch the new raven and we'll band it and get a DNA test on it. A DNA test on it. We'll get a DNA test on it. It can fly, said Charlie. How do I catch him? In the northeast corner of the tool shed, Granddad said, is a live trap for large birds. Go get it. We'll bait it and put it on the roof. Suppose we trap Blue Sky instead, Charlie asked. He'll probably be furious with me and punish me again. Blue Sky will stay inside with me, Granddad said. It's greeting and breakfast time, and he doesn't like to miss that. Charlie headed for the tool shed, and Grandma Sally invited Singing Bird in for sausage and biscuits. Blue Sky, no longer feeling threatened by the newcomer, flew down to Granddad and rode into the house on his shoulder. He kept stretching up his head as if to get it higher than Granddad's. Inside the ranch house, Granddad and Blue Sky went through the greening ceremony with noisy pleasure. When it was over, Granddad began his daily chat with the bird. You know the new raven, don't you? He asked. Otherwise, you would have nailed it. Is it a brother or sister? Don't answer. We'll find out. A DNA test will speak for you. Granddad got to his feet and walked to the dining table. Blue Sky flew to his own chair back and then hopped onto his plate. Grandma Sally served the two of them. Then herself and Singing Bird. When the meal was done, Granddad's medicine-taking ritual began. The medicine ritual went like this. Every day, Grandma Sally quietly put out the little dish of pills for Granddad. Blue Sky hopped to the dish and picked up the orange pill. No! No! Granddad shouted and snatched the pill from the Blue Sky's beak. Want to kill yourself? Do you want to kill yourself? That's what's the matter with me. That's what's the matter with me. Pills. They make me feel lousy. Grandma Sally then brought a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice and Granddad swallowed the pills. He grimaced and looked out the window to see Charlie crossing the yard with a live trap. Granddad rose to get bait for it and sat down quickly. Sally, he said. Give me a hand. I'm a little wobbly. It's the orange pill. Nonsense, she said. She said, nonsense. Get that right, Dave.
Whoops.
You're the one reading. You stay there. I'll get the bait. She looked out the window, then hurriedly opened the door. Charlie, she shouted. Charlie! Go close the cattle gate. 2 bison are headed in.
This isn't like tightened up.
You tighten it. Tighten it.
Is that tightened enough?
Yeah.
Okay, Case.
You put it down. It's fine. I'm having a fucking blast. Okay. You want me to finish?
You can finish till next.
There's only 3 more pages. Okay, I'll read fast. Charlie,
Hang on.
she shouted. Go close the cattle gate. 2 bison are headed in. Chase them off. Granddad called happily. He enjoyed living among the wild animals. that considered all land was their land. Charlie put down the live trap, splashed through the irrigation ditch, and reached the gate at the same time the bison did. They blinked and lowered their heads at him. Like a flash, he was on the bottom board of the gate, pushing it closed with one foot. He bolted it and shook his fist at the huge animals. Stay away from Granddad's trees, he yelled. You've taken the bark off too many, rubbing them with your big heads and backs. He picked up the trap and went on to the ranch house. Granddad baited it, set the trigger, and rested it in his chair while Charlie took it up the roof. It's fine. You can turn it off. You can turn it off.
Is the other battery still good?
Oh man, my arm's dirty. I have a fresh battery.
You want to change it?
You can.